I'd like to quickly welcome you all to this masterclass, which is going to be more about decoding the different roles and the hiring trends in the finance domain in the Indian ecosystem, right? And so we'll just wait for another minute. There's still a lot of people joining in. And in the meanwhile, I'd just quickly like to tell you guys about the MasterCamp in Applied Finance as well. Okay, so if you guys know, if you're following Masters Union, you would have known that there is a MasterCamp in Applied Finance that we're offering with KPMG in India, right? Basically, it's a one-year program which is designed for freshers or anybody who's looking to start off their careers in the finance domain. So the course is going to allow you to prepare yourself and upskill yourself as per the latest industry standards. Now, the one-year course also comes with a 6-month internship with KPMG towards the end. And then there is also placement support that we do provide you. And I think with today's session, we actually have one of the masters in the program who's also teaching there. And I'll quickly introduce her as well. So Sonia Varshneya basically is one of the masters in the program. And if we talk about her experience, so she's a BCom graduate from Delhi University, as well as she's a chartered accountant, right? And overall, she has over 14 years of experience in the areas of, let's say, auditing or financial advisory services, as well as training and technical audit support. Now, in this session today, she's going to basically share from her experience as to what the new or latest hiring trends are in the finance domain. And we will also be talking about, what the evolution of finance is in the Indian ecosystem. Apart from that, we'll talk about how finance is now advancing into fintech roles, right? And eventually, we will also look into the different kind of roles and responsibilities that exist, and what are the different kind of roles that you guys can target within the accounting and finance domain. Okay, so I'd quickly like Sonia to come over and take it from here. And one more thing, guys, towards the end also, if in case there are any questions that you guys have, whether it's related to what Sonia is going to share here or it's related to the course, both of us will try to answer them in the best way possible. And I hope this session is insightful for you just as it usually is. And yeah, that's about it. So over to you, Sonia.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving my introduction. Welcome, everyone. A very warm good evening to all of you. So just to give another brief introduction about myself. So I'm Sonia Varshneya. As Sharoz mentioned, that I've been with the firm for a long time now, over a decade. So I have done my chartered accountancy and I did my articleship with Grant Thornton in India. After that, after clearing my chartered accountancy, I joined KPMG in the CFO advisory. Then it was called Accounting Advisory Services. So, we used to deal with Companies Act, Schedule 3, XBRL, all those kinds of stuff, which normally is not done by audit or tax. So we are a domain in the advisory function. After that, I went to Johannesburg, South Africa. Then again, I joined KPMG over there in Department of Professional Practices, which is like a technical audit support team. So there I had dealt completely with IFRS because there is IFRS in South Africa. So I used to review financial statements in IFRS. We used to get a lot of technical queries on a daily basis from clients, from audit teams, etc. So we used to give accounting opinions to them and all those. So it was a great learning experience over there. And now I'm back in India towards the beginning of this year, and I've joined back CFO Advisory as an associate director. And also we provide these kind of trainings that you guys are getting. So thank you very much for joining in. And we look forward to, have interaction. Please feel free to ask questions wherever you have any, and I'll stop in between and maybe we can discuss. So I'll try to give you more insight about these trends in the finance job sector. So, by, having training with us KPMG guys who have a lot of experience, we have so many clients we have done in our long career that we have, that whatever we teach you, while teaching also, we try to give you a lot of practical exposure, like a lot of practical questions come in, a lot of queries that students have, we are able to solve of what we have done practically in our life. And that's how we teach. It's a very practical approach of teaching rather than just theoretical. So that's what, kids are really enjoying doing with us. So looking forward that all of you will be able to join this course. Okay, so to start, as you can see from the slides, it says Finance of the Future, a view of disruption from the top. So what it means is basically, so either you disrupt or you get disrupted. That is the very, very big question that is there. Because every day there are so many changes that are happening that what used to happen, say, a few years ago will not be applicable anymore now. So we need to move with the times, otherwise we will get disruptive. So rather we should disrupt and, move forward and see what's latest going on, what should be, how we should cope up with what's there in the industries. So what most CEOs would rather, like to disrupt in the sector they operate than wait to be disrupted. What it means for us is we need to constantly invent and reinvent, our most important tools, which are technology, processes, and our systems. We can't lay down or, sit back, whatever is going on, it'll keep going on like that. We need to be on our foot all the time. Everything has to be, updated. We need to work at a pace which has guarantees much greater speed in the market. Everybody's looking for speed, accuracy, latest technologies. So we always have to be updated. We need to be able to respond to changes to be able to survive. Survival of the fittest is really what's happening. We can see so many businesses are closing. We need to keep up to date in every aspect. So in the times of these drastic changes, it is the learners who inherit the future. This is what Eric Hoffer had said, the great American philosopher. So 5 decades later, his words still hold true. Yeah. So the future of finance is all about managing cross-functions, building the right combination of your capabilities and establishing a strong data foundation. That is what will distinguish tomorrow's winning organizations. So if you see this slide, it would say that 72% of CEOs are really waiting to be disrupted. Yeah. So data analytics, 60%. These are the greatest areas of investment spending we need to do. We should have data analytics. We'll do all these in detail in the coming slides. Your cognitive technologies, your Internet of Things, etc. So digital concerns is what concerns are people having? 57% of the organizations are saying that we do not have the sensory capabilities and innovative processes to be able to respond to the disruptions that are happening. There is rapid disruption that's happening. So 57% of the organizations still feel that they do not have the capabilities to be able to cope with that disruption. And 61% are concerned about integrating cognitive processes. So we'll study about cognitive processes later. Artificial intelligence is what is the new word that's been coming up, right? I think you have a separate session for that altogether. 45% say they are not leveraging digital as the means to connect to their customers effectively. So they have the capabilities, but they're still not able to connect to their customers effectively. So now what are the 5 strategies that every company is trying to look at in the next coming 3 years is 25% feel greater speed to market. So whatever happening in the market to bring up to date to that market. 22% feel becoming more data driven. Then 21% become more, digitization of the business. Then building public trust and implementing your disruptive technology. So now what used to happen traditionally and what is we are looking at in the coming future, it's very, very important, right? So we have to shift our priorities as a CFO. So we are a CFO advisory team. We advise a lot of companies for any kind of, accounting opinions they need, any kind of technical queries they have. We also act as CFO or, go to their companies and help them in a way we can. So what's happening? It's an evolving workforce, right? You need to evolve. You cannot have one kind of a degree and you just sit and relax and, work in traditional ways. Those things are now over. So now the expectations of CFOs are rising as the technology is becoming very, very advanced. And they are no longer only responsible for focusing on company's bottom line. Earlier, what used to happen? Okay, how much is the profit that my company is making? Now that's no longer the case. They have to look at everything holistically, the bottom line, the revenues, the workforce, the well-being of the workforce, data analytics, artificial intelligence, how we can reduce our workforce and bring more of computerization, all those things. It is not easy. It's theoretically sounds very, very easy, but to implement all those things is a challenge. Or upgrade your workforce in a manner that they're able to cope up with these challenges also very, very, difficult. So the CFOs of the future and their finance functions need to adapt at delivering and leading this technology transformation. So the CFO has a role to, be able to deliver this kind of a transformation that's happening in the society. So less time will be spent on recording and verifying the numbers, and more time in making managed data connections and explaining the number implications to the business and applying like a finance lens on decision making. Okay, now I have to make a decision. What should be something that I have to look forward to? What would be my 5-year plan? So by leveraging transformative technology, CFOs are becoming strategic enablers within their organizations. So it's no longer just number games that is there, that we have to make financials, we have to get it audited, and we are done. It's now a bigger role for the CFO and the team. Automation and cognitive are becoming the norm. It is becoming very normal, right? So dramatically evolving the workforce and requiring increased collaboration and end-to-end process management is very important now. So organizations will experience growth opportunities as a result of automation. Once you automate, then you will have your growth. But if you do not want to grow, you're happy in what's happening, then you can just stay normal. But if you really want to compete with the market participants and grow your business, then you have to technically very, very savvy to be able to even execute your tactical work, which will free up employees focus on developing different skill sets than the business. So rather the employees doing all the normal kind of work that every day they have to do, they have to now focus on more of, cognitive technology, artificial intelligence, all those things. So it's not like you work in a traditional manner and it will be done. So what happens? Features of traditional way of learning was that, we siloed into processes and limited cross-functional collaboration. Okay, I'm in finance, I will only look at finance. Okay, I'm in marketing, I'm only going to look at marketing. Now we need a lot of collaboration between different departments, a lot of collaboration technologically as well. If you're generating an invoice, it should flow to everybody. We do not have to email or, take out print and send for signature. All those things are of the past. There should be automatic systems of approval that'll go to the marketing department, go to finance. Everything will happen simultaneously. And it'll save so much time and effort of everybody. Human execution of transactional processes was past, right? We had limited cross-functional governance. So if you see the slides, all this shows that, we need to move from more of human kind of activities to more of technologically driven work. So now what is happening in the features? What are the features of a futuristic businesses? You have increased collaboration between different departments, marketing, finance, etc. It's an integrated functional expertise. There is an end-to-end process ownership. Yeah. Human expertise and oversight layer across the business with automated execution. So everything is becoming automated. Now you have less workforce, which is working on more manual work. Rather, we have less of people who are working on automated things and be able to focus on growing the business rather than just doing entries and, taking out prints, having meetings and discussions and all those things. So it's more process oriented now. Human expertise and oversight layer across the business with automated execution, new cross-functional governance and behaviors are required as a result of automation. So you need to change your behaviors. You need to upgrade yourself to be able to constantly work in this evolving environment. Okay, so what are the new skill sets that are required? So we spoke about what's been happening in the past, what we need to do in the future. So these are few skill sets and we'll discuss in further slides as well. So there's data utilization technology, behavioral changes, strategic, and finance technical. So let's discuss all of them in detail. So what is data utilization technology? So basically with data analytics, how are you going to handle the data that you're getting? There is so much data that we have nowadays, so much information is there. But how to be able to generate information out of that data is very important. So companies cannot make any sense of what information means, right? So analytics is a broad term. It's a very broad term that encompasses numerous subfields. So it refers to all the tools and activities involved in processing those data and to be able to develop a valuable insights and interpretations. So we have data, but to get valuable insights and interpretations from that data is what we are looking at. So data analytics is more involved in bringing some form of structure. So there is unorganized data, but we need to bring some kind of a structure into that unorganized data. And data visualization is basically deals with picturing the information that we have this information that we've got from the data. How do we depict it? How do we show it so that people can easily understand it and it makes sense what it wants to make? So you have to, use graphs, charts, and other forms to make it more visually pleasant and understandable. Whereas data modeling is the process of analyzing and defining all the different data your business collects and produces, and the relationship between all those data. So there's data visualization, data analytics, and data modeling, which all play hand in hand to be able to get most benefit out of the data that we have. And there is this new concept of robotic quotient, which is there, which is a quantitative method meant to provide a fine-grained analysis of how competent your business will be. So how competent your business will be, now it's called the robotic quotient or the RQ. We see the RQ level of businesses to be able to see how competent will they be in the future. What is their future down the line? Artificial intelligence and everything, automation of the technologies, all these things are tested over there. So from your RQ score, you can also infer what improvements you require. So you have your RQ score, you will see, okay, what improvements do I require in my business to be able to compete in the business with my competitors. Okay, so relationship management, also a strategy in which organizations maintains an ongoing level of engagement with its audience. So now you have this audience, you cannot work in silo. You need to be continuous in touch with your clients, your employees, everybody. So relationship management is another term which has come into picture, where you have to always be in touch in the needs of the clients, needs of your employees, etc. And now finance has become like a storytelling. I am sure you had a detailed session on storytelling, how you have to tell a story in finance. So I will not go into detail into that. So finance storytelling is also an upcoming thing. So it's not like those boring financials or, those boring presentations. Now everything has to flow in a story. People have less time available and they want most information in the easiest manner, quickest manner to be able to decide, okay, if I want to invest in this company or not, if I want to work in this company or not, for example, or all these kind of decisions that they have. Should I give loan to the company or not? They have to have this visual presentation in the easiest manner with convincing presentations and be able to quickly decide. We don't have times to go through those annual reports, 100 pages and all those. We have to compare so many things. There are so many companies that have come up, right? So it's storytelling which has become very, very important. Then technically a finance or business model is a spreadsheet. So finance technical is basically a simple spreadsheet, which is usually built in your Microsoft Excel that forecasts a business financial performance into the future, that what's going to happen with the business in the future. So it's a full technical thing that happens in Excel. So the forecast is typically based on company's historical performances, obviously how the company has been doing in the past, and also their assumptions for the future. So both these things together, help the people who want to invest to decide what they should do with this company. And the core financial drivers are the key inputs and the activities that drive the operational and financial results of the business. So common examples could be your salespeople, your number of stores, websites, etc. So all these details, units of production, your products that you're selling, to make your internal choices about business strategy or build a financial model to value the company, it's critical to gain a solid understanding to be able to, deliver the business or to be able to make these improvements. So all these are skill sets. These are not even, complete list. So there are so many other things that you need to be updated on a daily basis to be able to, work in the future. So whatever we've discussed, so now CFO's role, we'll tell you in very short. We've tried to compress this as much as we could. It was a very, very big document, but we had to, compress it to make it most crisp for your understanding. In a 1 hour session is what I wanted to give most as I could. Okay, so now CFOs, they have become like a financial and regulatory accountant. You have to deliver the tasks that you used to do earlier, that you have to give your financials, you have to get it audited, all those things are still there. So you have to deliver core reporting and analytics to the businesses. So you have to have deep finance and accounting background. You could be a CA, you could be a CPA, a CFA. So that is the basic, which will not change. Then innovation and investment strategist. Develop insights from trends, what's happening in the market. I need to be innovative to be able to make changes, and not of that, I don't want to make any changes. This is what I am doing. I will stick to this. That doesn't work anymore. You need to be updated and be able to ready to move ahead. Identify changes in customers, competitors' behavior, and possible business implications. Business analyst. So handle interactions between different business groups and communicate information effectively. Should be able to, communicate. Communication is the key between different businesses. I have even audited companies which had like one Excel also was less to have their flowchart of how many subsidiaries, associates, joint ventures, only little bit of investments, control. There was so many, it's really complicated. Everything is becoming really complicated. So you need to be updated. You need to be interacting between these businesses in itself to be able to succeed in the future. Then financial data modeler or a scientist, so execute complex financial models and advise the business on the financial and business's impact of different scenarios. Yeah, we should have high RQ, as I mentioned, overall knowledge of the financial systems landscape to be able to identify your F&A process change and implement new business solutions. Relevant roles and the business partner. Your main domain should be your business partner. That's a very critical role, that you examine the threats that your company might have. You don't have to close your eyes that, okay, I don't have any threats. I'm doing fine in my market. You don't know next day what's going to happen. Another competitor might come and, so you have to be very cognizant about the threats that you might have on other opportunities. So if by chance one of my division closes, what are the next opportunities I have to be able to, leverage upon to secure a competitive advantage for your business? So we should be always on our toes. Okay, so the finance is evolving, as I have mentioned like ample number of times now. So what used to happen earlier was you were an administrator and that is it. Okay, you do your monthly end reconciliations, your bank reconciliations, your debtor, creditor, this, that, make your financials, your transactional processing, standard and ad hoc reporting. Ye karna hai every month, I will do it, that's it. So that was administrator role, which used to be there. Then cost manager. Then what is my budget? What is my actual cost, project accounting, short-term planning? All these used to be a typical finance business partnering, right? Which is also required, but now you need to move ahead towards partnering, performance-driven strategist. So partnering would be, reviews and write commentary, your shareholder value analysis, your root cause analysis, that you have to go into so much detail to be able to find out what is the root cause, what is the problem that I'm facing. In depth, you have to go into that. Of course, budgeting and forecasting will never stop. Then performance driver is you have to drive your decisions. You have to do strategic planning, capital management, your value-based management, multi-dimensional profitability analysis. You have so many avenues. You have to see, okay, from where I can drive more profit, operational financial perspective. You have to be able to see your competitors and maybe learn something from them and try to capture the market. So all those things. Then finally, you have to become like a strategist, where we have an enterprise portfolio perspective. You involve in major business transactions, your profit and loss accountability. If your company is into losses, you should be accountable for that. If it doesn't profit, again, you're accountable for that. And then statistical decision modeling tools. So you have to be able to statistically, beautifully be able to show all your data and discussions. Okay, so now what's happening? The technologies in finance. You see this slide, before, like maybe few years back, especially when I was studying, I would never have thought about these terms. I had never heard about these terms. But now, even younger generation, they all know everything about it. So we have really, the world is moving very fast. Yeah, so these are 8 disruptive technologies will transform all the levels of existing finance competencies. Yeah, the cloud technologies. Now let's study about each of them in detail. So what is cloud technologies? So I know this is a one-way session. Otherwise, I usually like all my students to usually tell me, okay, what do you understand by cloud technologies? But never mind. So it's like I'm talking to the wall. The cloud technologies is basically a cloud computing technology. All your data now gets stored in cloud. As we say, Apple ka cloud, this cloud, that cloud. Everybody is, I'm sure, aware of it. So it allows people to use digital resources to store their virtual space by way of networks. So often satellite networks. So it allows people to share information and applications without being restricted by the physical location. You be in India, you be in South Africa, you be in wherever you are. Everybody companies, branches, companies, subsidiaries, they can all store data in one cloud. And whoever requires that data can immediately have it. We don't have to throw emails, wait for days to get the responses. No, we have folders. The thing of working together on a file is such a boon for us. We work together, all like hundreds of people are working on same one document at a particular time. You can even see what line that person is editing. We are using it on a daily basis, even on Teams or on our open drives. We work on you understand how much time it is saving. Earlier it used to happen, okay, Sonia will do it, then we'll send it to XYZ and then to ABC, and then it will collate. It is saving days, it is saving hours of our effort by working together. So implementing your cloud technologies in the finance system will help standardize the processes. So every company will follow same processes rather than, when you're having discussions at your end and like, okay, you followed something else, we have done something else. All the companies, now everybody will follow standard processes. So comparisons will become easier. Discussions will become easier. It will improve your efficiency in areas such as budgeting, planning, management reporting, your payroll processing, etc. So that's all about cloud technologies. Then what is machine learning? So machine learning, it offers basically several opportunities to be able to handle processes and decisions that involve an element of judgment. So there is some kind of judgment which is required. Yeah, we have this machine learning which is there, and we have these humans. So together we are able to make quicker and faster decisions. So process such as management of payment exceptions, supplier and contract management, your preparation of statutory filings and shareholder reports can potentially be automated. So all those things that you need on a regular basis, like, the return has to be filed, your financials have to come out. All these things are now becoming more automated because it's a regular process that they follow. So machine learning basically allows for handling large amounts of data that was previously only discerned by humans. It was being done by humans. Now it is being done by machines and at a faster and a more accurate space. Then robotic process automation, which is also called RPA. It can automate your repetitive rule-based activities. So there is one set of rule which is there, and these activities which follow these rules will be done by automation, by robotics, that have historically been executed by humans, making it well suited for finance activities, such as closing and reconciling your subsidiaries, your ledgers, passing journals, processing, creating purchase orders, creating your invoices. So all these are very automated or a rule-based. If it is approved by ABC, then you can generate the invoice. So it could be done automatically now. We don't need any kind of approvals that are there. So we prepare and distribute management reports. So these labor-intensive processes can be completely automated. Now you don't need to do it everything manually. Then we have cognitive. So beyond the most important that is coming is cognitive technologies. So we consider, electronic brains that will challenge finance opinions and provide deeper analytics. So cognitive technologies can carry out financial close analysis, forecast performance. They can do, they can manage customer contracts. They can develop, strategic plans by bringing together large amounts of data from across the business. They have so much data is available. We bring that all together and help us to make some kind of decisions. Then we have these blockchains, which is a revolutionary thing. It has the potential to increase data security, shorten the transaction cycles, and eliminate the need of reconciliation. So when there are blockchains, we have very less, threats, or losing data is very, very less through blockchain technology. The natural, obviously, we are also learning. I have not done most of these things, but we are evolving. Everybody is learning. At least we know theoretically. So when we go and do it practically, it becomes much easier. So natural language processing. It can assist finance professionals in automatically structuring their data. By, for example, you automatically read scanned copies. Now you have these scanned copies of PDF. Earlier, we used to sit, read, compare two documents. Now, comparison between two PDFs has become so easy. You just generate the comparison. They will tell you, okay, what is the difference? What changes is there from A to B PDF? So all these things, they will give you in a voice note. What is there in the PDF? Suppose I'm busy and I cannot read. I do not have the time. I'm sitting somewhere in the aeroplane. I can just open and listen to what is there in the PDF. So it has become very easy, all these things now. So it's called digital and natural language processing. Okay. Then we have data analytics. It enables your finance executives to turn structured and unstructured. So we have structured data, we have unstructured data. So both structured and unstructured data into insights and information, which helps us to take decisions in the future. So data analytics basically allows us to scrutinize and comprehend, vital metrics, very, very important terms, very, very important information, and detect fraud if there is any, because we know where the loopholes are and we'll be able to detect frauds or what is going wrong. So this helps in financial service experience, a huge increase in digital fraud activity in 2020. It helped to catch different kinds of frauds in 2020 when it came up. And then lastly, we have data management. What is data management? Where we have we achieve quick and powerful insights and improved business partnering. So we have data, we are trying to manage it from wherever we get so much data from our complex company structure that is there, and we are able to restructure it in a way that will give us information, which will help us to provide information to our audience, the people who want to invest in our company. So the integration and governance of data, as well as the mining of untapped data sources, will provide predictive and prescriptive insights. Predictive as what is going to happen, what is our prediction, and prescriptive like written insights. Okay, this is what we have, and this is how we've analyzed it. So all these are upcoming things in finance, which is really exciting to see what's going to happen in future. So now what's happening in the disruptive technology that I started with. So from your front office till your back office, everything is working through artificial intelligence, your machine learning. You smile to enter onto your phone. You have these biometrics that have come in. You have micro expressions are showing. Then your machine learning, your cyber security to detect fraud. Your conversational bots have come in. Humanoid robots and your artificial intelligence. Our kids and their next generation will all be working on all these things. It'll be very, very less of manual work, which will be there. Real-time transaction analysis that's happening. So all these things are there. So machine learning is basically a subset of your artificial intelligence. It is part of your artificial intelligence that utilizes advanced statistical techniques to be able to compute systems to improve the tasks that we experienced over time. Yeah. So chatbots like Amazon's Alexa and Apple Siri, they are improving every year. We would not have thought 10 years back that we'll have something like Alexa or Siri, which will be there. It is so fascinating for the kids, this generation. They're like, it's very normal for them that they don't have to type anything. We just tell and the lights close, the fans open. Like nobody knew all this would happen. So yeah, it's really changing. It's really evolving. I would like to share some cases which had happened, like for decision making. When you want to take some decision, there is a global task, for example, which is there. It could successfully be solved through artificial intelligence and machine learning in financial services specifically. We are talking right now about finance, evolvement of finance. So when an algorithm can analyze all of the available structured and unstructured data, so a financial institution can also discover both useful and potential dangerous trends. So we have different algorithms by which we can see what is going to happen, what are the disruptions that are going to happen in future. So it basically helps us to assess the level of risks that are there and allow people to make informative decisions. And then we have this customer data management, which is there. So we have so much information that is available in the market, but to be able to use that customer data that is there, what is the requirement of the customers? What is they want in the future? What is our competitor selling? Price comparisons, all these things. So for each of these things, we have artificial intelligence, which will help us to take decisions. Like for examples, for banks and financial institutions, data is very, very crucial. So efficient data management helps them to have successful growth in their businesses. So nowadays, financial data has become very, very vast due to different sources. Now we have a lot of sources from which we can gather data. So be able, like social media, transactional details, mobile, etc. So it's become very difficult for financial specialists to manage that data manually. We can't do it manually. So we have these processes, machine learning, which is there, which integrates with the finance system and manage such large volumes of data. and generate information out of it. So we have these blockchain technologies, which, for example, there are cross-border payments, government expenses, political funds, all these work on blockchain concept. We have IPOs, then we have financial record keeping. So just to touch base a little bit about each of them. So for example, cross-border payments. Now, if you want to make a payment from, say, India to Russia or from Russia to USA, it was kind of impossible a few years back, but now it has become so easy since bank charge additional cost for every transfer. So we used to think, okay, what we should do or we should not do. Transferring goods or payments across borders was expensive. So now it has become more easy and more approachable to be able to do it in few seconds on our phone. So now blockchain has allowed individuals to send and receive money with minimum involvement. With the help of blockchain, there is high security that there'll be no threats, or there'll be, no kind of leakages will be there. It'll be quick, it'll be cost effective. So that is what blockchain is helping us to do. And for example, government expenses. So governments around the world are adopting digital methods to modernize your legal processes and build good relationships with their citizens. Hiring trends in the job market is basically, we have a lot of market that is open for graduates right now. So graduates, the demand for bachelor's degrees also high, but obviously it's an added advantage to have another kind of a degree that you have, like a master's union degree that we're giving you. So all these things are there, but definitely there is market for graduates as well. The companies are confident if they see that confidence in you, the ability that you'll be able to, do work nicely, or they will be able to train you and get the output that they want. Then obviously graduates can also be a good, entry into the company. And then we need specialized skills, as I've mentioned. It's not that now we study and it's done. We need really specialized skills. Like, for example, you want to be an internal auditor. So you will have, you'll find inefficiencies, cut cost for the company. Then you have accounts receivable and payable, risks analyst and forecast. So rather than focusing on everything, you can maybe become one specialist in a specialized field. Then telecommunication and remote hiring. So due to all this pandemic, everybody working from home, telecommunication has become really widespread practice. So your traditional accountancy and finance organization, they used to resist that, but now they had no option, and now they also favor that. Yeah. Then automation, it has gained a lot of momentum. So everything is getting automated, as we discussed. So I don't want to spend more time on it now, otherwise I'll not be able to answer questions. Soft skills is very, very important. You should have soft skills to be able to convince the shareholders or your competitors or discussions with your clients, etc. So that is very important. Then you have job perks. The accounting and finance hiring is changing. It has changed. Every year it's changing. The job market for those positions is expected to remain strong. But what accountants and financial employees look for is changing and latest recruiting strategies. Okay. Then we have temporary staffing becomes a widespread solution. So from internal auditing projects and new compliance regulations, the sudden budget changes or business mergers, there's frequent need these days for complex working in accounting and finance. The third-party firms are having trouble meeting the demand and be able to work in a high risk environment. These are what basic trends in the job market that we have right now. So what you should be thinking of. So you can think of making financial statements. You could have credit operations. You should have those analytical skills, wealth management. You can go into investment banking, internal audit, cybersecurity. So in our time, there was very limited scope, advisory, audit, tax. But now within those, there are so many options that you have. And there is so much demand in the industry. So you should have a skill-based mindset. Okay, now I'm focusing on this. I want to do this. Okay, what are the skills that I require now for that? Then you have to actively pursue digital expertise. You should be open to digital changes. And then you have to reskill yourself. Okay, now I've got this skill. Few years later, I need to reskill myself. You should be open to be able to take, different kind of roles, different kind of trainings, etc., to be able to change and grow in your current capabilities. Okay, so I've given you too much data. I know it is. Okay, so any specific questions?
Yes, ma'am. So actually, there are a lot of questions. And firstly, thank you for all that information. I think for all of us now, we've really it's really opened our eyes to as to what roles we can prepare ourselves for, right? These are, I think, roles that are down there in the future.
Correct.
So I think most of the questions are related to their specific profiles. Now, if I can pick, for example, one of them, there is a question from Krupa who says, I have completed MCOM and want to work in KPMG. So, I mean, Krupa, I think this question is a little too Dane. What I would say that rather, probably if you're looking for a career in KPMG, you can consider the applied finance program. If you've already tried before and you're not getting selected, then probably, there are certain skill sets or maybe, upskilling can definitely help you. Now, I'd like you to probably go through the curriculum for the program. That will definitely give you an understanding of, where you're lacking in terms of your learning. And the program comes with direct placement support as well. In fact, some of these students who are part of the cohort, they will be absorbed by KPMG also for full-time roles, right? But this would obviously depend on the kind of business requirement they have at that point of time. So I would recommend you can, try, maybe go through the program. If you feel it works out, then you can definitely apply. Let me find a question that is slightly more, what should require expertise.
I can see is a course beneficial for CA qualified and currently working. Definitely. It is definitely beneficial. So we are also chartered accountants here. In my department, there are a lot of chartered accountants, but the latest Ind AS that has come in, because when we studied, there was no Ind AS. We were studying Indian GAAP. So a lot of practical experience that we'll give you, and a lot of discussions that you will have with different cohort members. With it's not just Ind AS that we're teaching, right? We're teaching so many other things which will help you to upscale yourself in your current work, or if you want to change your profile, it will help you to how can I shift jobs. So definitely, there are a lot of people who are pursuing CA are joining the course and they're finding it really beneficial for them. And if all the things like Ind AS will go hand in hand, right? So if you're even working, it will help you implement those things in your day-to-day work. Yeah, I'm doing CA, but I've completed only Inter 1 group. I think you are eligible, yes, for the MasterCamp if you have cleared one group.
Okay, so I think I've also had a lot of interaction with students before about this who are coming from CA backgrounds. So one thing we can recommend is that CA is quite a difficult thing to crack, right? And if you've probably given a couple of attempts and you're still not able to clear, I would say that this program is at least going to allow you to look at other openings or other roles in the accounting and finance domain, right? So why miss out on that? I would say if you're doing a CA that's very technical, here you're gaining some practical knowledge as well as it will open doors for other roles in the finance domain. Okay, so anybody from CA can consider that.
Can an engineer step in finance without an MBA? Yes, definitely. Why not? You can do this course and then maybe, smaller courses like this. You not do MBA just to enter into finance. So this could be one stepping. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing I can add here is also the roles that you talked about, right? They involve a lot of technology. So I think people coming from tech backgrounds, and if you're actually interested in finance, I would say just out of interest only. Now, the course that we are offering is going to teach you everything right from the fundamentals, So I think a mixture of both of that is something that can get you a good role, even in the finance domain, as we saw earlier.
Correct. Somebody's asking programming language like Python, is it helpful in a career like finance and accounting? So for what I have done, I have never used Python. So it really depends on what role you're looking at, which company are you looking at, do they even, use Python? So it's not very necessary or very, important to know that, but definitely more you learn, the better it is. So it's very, very specific to what profile you're looking at, which company do you want to join. The curriculum details, I'm sure they'll give you all the fees, timing, all these things. And the virtual internship is really interesting. So we have a lot of students who are doing virtual internship and they are learning. They are really excited and they're learning from it. So once you experience it, then only you'll know how beneficial it is. And as he mentioned, a lot of people have already got into KPMG through this Masters Union. So I'm sure they will have a separate session with those students for you guys.
Okay, so ma'am, there's a lot of talks about investment banking, right? So somebody, Akshat, is asking that, so to make a career as an investment banker, what is the skills that I need to do in my graduation?
I am not very sure, but because I have done my CA investment banking, I think definitely this course can help. I am honestly not very sure of
So
what.
in the course, we do cover asset management. We do
Yes,
cover
yes,
even the negotiation skills. And I think investment banking is more of a front end role, right? Where you're required to interact with clients, get them
correct.
to convince. Analysis is very important, I would say. So overall,
Mm,
I would say I think directly getting into investment banking with this course may not be possible as a fresher. But for somebody who, let's say, has 1 to 2 years of experience and now wants to get into a role like that, the course is at least going to teach you the technical knowledge as well as the soft skills, which again is more
correct.
important here.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
because I think to become an investment banker, there's a lot of trust the organization needs to have in you to be able to actually take up clients for them. So
Yes.
definitely learning with practitioners or the negotiation skills, or I think even, for example, Mr. Vijay Gokoi is a business partner as well, right? So
Yeah.
I think that learning is what would rather help you get there.
Got a call. So I think maybe you can follow up with them if you got a call from KPMG. If you want to apply for this course, just follow up with them. Tell them that I have other things in my hand. So could you just, have constant follow-ups on a daily basis?
So Shubh is asking that I'm preparing for competitive exams since last 4 years, but still not able to crack it. So Shubh, we have a few people who have, probably a gap year as well, but I'd like to know if you already had certain experience before, or is it you're going to be as a complete fresher? How can I join Masters Union CEO Challenge? Okay, so Utkarsh, if you go to our page, you would be able to find the CEO challenge there. But although that is for the undergraduate program that we're offering, where you guys will get a chance to pitch your ideas to Ashleer Grover from Shark Tank. So I think it's good that you are following us on the website, right? So guys, please do stay follow us on the website. You'll get to know about all the recent updates as well as on YouTube and Instagram. Okay, Rimsha is asking, how can I apply for this course? So Rimsha, I will just share the application form link for you. You'll have to firstly, so somebody was asking about the admission process as well, which I'd like to explain. Now it's a three-step process. Firstly, the first step is that you need to submit an online application form. Now in this application, basically you'd have to upload all your education details. That's your 10th certificates, your 12th, mark sheets, your graduation certificate, your SOP and so on. Once you have submitted your application, it is reviewed by the team. And once we feel that you're relevant, you will get shortlisted, wherein then you'll have an interview with the panelists. If you clear the interview round, you would be getting the admission offer letter on your email, post which you can join the course.
Somebody's asking how the placement works.
Okay, so placements also I'll explain. Now, see, I think you guys already know about Masters Union and placements, right? I think the reason we are mostly known is because of the highest placements we achieved for 2 consecutive years in 2021 and 2022 for our MBA program, right? Now, with this MasterCamp also, throughout the year, you guys are going to get the mentorship. That is basically you'd have one-to-one sessions with the masters from the program, or a dedicated mentor would be allotted for you, and they're basically going to really help you understand that what are the best roles that you should be targeting. Okay, so all this mentorship and everything happens during the course. After you have completed the program, you'll get access to the placement cell where you can actually start setting for the placement drives. Now, overall, I would say you guys will get about 20-30 interview opportunities that Masters Union will be arranging from you. And this would also, of course, include KPMG as well. But if we talk about some of the other companies or recruiters that Masters Union has their partners, so it would include BCGs or Bain or McKinsey and Company as well. HCL is also hiring for finance roles. So I think all the information is there on the website. Now, what we assure you is that we are going to provide you the best resources in terms of people who are going to teach you, as well as the opportunities of interviews is what we are going to give. But getting that job will again depend on how you actually perform throughout the course, right? As well as how well prepared you are before you go for those interviews. Now, even your mock interviews is something that you'll be having an expert to help you with, So we are actually going to that extent to helping you prepare for the interviews, helping you build the right kind of CVs, as well as the career guidance and placement drives in there. Okay, so I hope this has been answered. Okay, you're not able to fill the organization or school name. So that's okay, Utkarsh. You can put in something else as of now. Later on, probably when you're asked to upload a CV, in that you can, share the correct name. Ankita is asking about the fees. Now, see, the total fees for the program goes to around 3,20,000. If you can just probably click on the link that I'd shared before with the program page, you'll be able to see that. I'll just share it once again. Okay, so please, guys, do visit, the website. Everything is clearly mentioned there. Aina is asking, sir, I'm a BTech food technology student and want to diversify my career field predominantly in corporate or consulting. Are there any opportunities available in KPMG for students and freshers?
So you need to go to the KPMG careers page, and there you will have in detail, all the openings that are there in throughout India, throughout the world actually. And then you can apply there. There is very easy steps to apply. So you can go to the careers page. And obviously through Masters Union, there is another route which is there. But if you want to directly apply, then it's through the careers page. There are a lot of openings which are there.
Okay, so there's a question from Akshat. He's saying financial modeling and CFA is better course for investment banking or not?
I think it should help, but I'm not really very, very sure whether it's the only course that is required. But financial modeling definitely should help. And CFA, if you can do it, nothing like that. CFA is a little difficult, but it's a very renowned and a good course that you should be aiming at doing if you want to do investment banking.
Master's in right after 12th. So Utkarsh, I would say you'd have to wait probably for another year. We usually prefer people who are in their second year of college because see, it's a placement targeted program, right? And once you have completed this course, if you're in your final year of college, chances of you getting selected are much higher. If you're in your first year right now, or if you haven't even started undergrads, then I would say it's better you wait, for some time. Okay, I did my MBA. I really do want to join. So Shomaila is saying she's done an MBA with specialize in finance. She wants to join KPMG. So if you want to directly apply, you can go to the KPMG careers page. If you want additional support, if you want to upskill yourself as well, and then go to that, then you can definitely consider the applied finance program. I'm in a legal field. Okay, so there's a question from somebody who says, I have a background in finance and currently I'm in the legal field. How can this course help them build a career in the area?
You're from a legal field and your finance background now in a legal field. Okay. So I think this course will, if, Index and all those technical things that are there, and also practical exposure, practical experience from the masters and the other trainers that you will get, I think will help you to grow in your career, as well as if you're thinking of changing your field, it will assess you with that as well. So when you discuss with other cohort members, other members, you get to also know what's going on in the market as well.
So correct. Nice so we cover Companies Act, we cover a little bit of corporate finance, we cover CSR regulations, IGAP, IFRS. So I think these are also including the legal terms. Then we also have fraud detection and in asset misappropriation,
asset management companies and all those things. Yeah, that will all help. Correct.
Okay, so there's a question saying, can Excel be replaced by any other software? Okay, this we've already answered. But see, one highlight, guys, in the program, you guys will get to train on SAP as well. Also, we teach you advanced Excel for forecasting purpose. And then you have Power BI for data presentation and visualization as well. So I think these are three tools that anybody looking to start their career in finance must have in today's time, and especially if you're targeting a consulting firm. Because otherwise, then you join that company, you go for an interview and you don't know these tools, right? The company is going to understand that there's a lot of training that would be required, or they would have to invest a lot of money in just training you and, sort of upskilling you there. Which three tools? Yeah, so SAP, Power BI, and Advanced Excel. So Weber was asking difference between account and finance. I would say accounting is more of a backward process and finance is more about looking at that and then planning your future.
Yes, also accounting is like, what we as consultants mainly do. So we don't enter into that finance of one particular company. So when you're in an industry, that's more of like a finance kind of a role. We're looking at the financials in detail and, making changes to the company's financials. But accounting is more of accounting for different companies. What is latest trend? How we should change the financials, all those things. So it could be one differentiation as well.
Okay, ma'am. So there's one question from Harini, which I think is a technical one. What is the job title I'll be looking for if I learn business modeling? And can you explain the difference between data modeling and business modeling?
Okay, so data modeling, I think, would be job profile as a fresher will always be like analyst or consultant. So if you are a fresher, it would start from that level as only. So data modeling and business modeling, I would say data modeling is more of handling the data that we have from different resources and be able to model it to get information which would be helpful for analysis in very short, I'm telling you. And business modeling will be more of different streams in a business, how to structure those streams, how to have interaction between those streams, and be able to model that or automate processes between different business sectors, like finance, marketing, advertising, as I mentioned. So be able to have a model or a structure so that everybody is doing things in a similar manner. and there is least approvals or least manual things that are required, and everything is more automated. So data could be data related to one particular sector, and business modeling could be on a larger scale. So that is what I would say in a nutshell. For Deloitte, not coming campus. I want to connect with KPMG. So either, as I mentioned, you can either connect to careers page, or you can, follow us on LinkedIn as well. And then obviously through Masters Union, when you connect through to us, through LinkedIn and everything. And then we have virtual internships. We refer CVs. People have started getting jobs and everything. So that is also, nicer option.
Okay, so I think, guys, somebody asked about the placements as well. So I've just shared a recent news that we announced just last week about being the highest in India again for the second year. So I've dropped the link on the chat box. I'll also share the actual stats with you guys. Just give me a moment. So see, obviously these are the placements for the PGP program, but although the placement team remains the same for any courses that you take from Masters Union, so I think it will give you a good understanding of what are the kind of companies and the roles that they hire for, right? So please do look into this link. I've shared, it's basically a repost from our founder, Pratham Mittal. So he had talked about it recently. I think you guys will really get good insights from there.
Somebody's asking, I missed the webinar. Can I get the recording?
Yes, so recordings we will be uploading in a week's time or so once it is rendered. So I'll recommend that you can, follow us on YouTube. The moment it is uploaded, you'll be able to see it on YouTube itself. Okay, guys. So I think we've answered most of the questions. Ma'am, if you're getting late, you can take a leave.
Okay, thank you so much. Look forward to meeting all of you in person.
Thank you so much, ma'am.